Okay, so let's start creating some test cases into our test folder in the QA Click Academy package. So let me create three dummy tests. One is Selenium test, and another is Appium test for mobile automation. So I'm not going to write any real code inside it. So once we explain end-to-end Maven concept, in the coming sections we will inject our actual code into these test cases. Okay, for now just let's assume that we are building some test cases with some dummy data. API test, REST API. Okay, so the reason why I'm giving these three tools is that all these three tools are nothing but Java APIs. You write your Selenium code using Java API and REST API as well as mobile test. So Maven is commonly used across all these three tools in framework development. So that's the reason I'm just using these three tools test cases. Okay, so let me go to one Selenium test and I'll write one sample test. Browser automation. Okay, so you can move your cursor here to import the jars which you are interested in. You can add testng library for now, but still your Maven do not know what is testng. You have to pass the dependencies, which we'll be doing later. Okay, so I think error is not yet gone. Yeah, meanwhile you can start writing developing one more test. Yeah, import test. Cool. Test public void, like you can say elements UI something. So I'm just creating dummy test cases here. So here is where you actually introduce your code by writing driver equals to Chrome driver and you start automating. Okay, this is one test case and this is one test case. So you will see that in coming sections. Let's inject actual code and where you will understand about how it works. But now in this section I'm only focusing on how Maven works. I'm not going into deep or any API testing or mobile testing or Selenium. We have been discussing that in every section. So in this section I'm specifically talking about how to build a Maven project for our tools. Okay, yeah, let's leave for these two test cases. Let me go back to REST API and create two more here. Public void, maybe post Jira. That might be one test case, post Jira defect test case, and you will develop one more. That could be our Twitter delete test case, delete Twitter. Okay, so import test. Yeah. Similarly, we will go here and create two more. So with that, we can start exploring this Maven. Here I'll say native app, Android, and you can say iOS apps. Alright, so system, I'll print one text here just to make sure that these tests are running as expected. System println. I'll just paste the same method name inside it. Let's assume that this is our actual code for now. Okay, I'm just giving some dummy code. I'm just printing something here, but here is where you have to introduce your actual code later. iOS apps. Okay, so same thing let's do in REST API as well. Post Jira, delete Twitter. Cool. Let me copy this. So totally there are 6 test cases, right? 2 in each class. Now, how does Maven run all your test cases is the question. Okay, so what we have done till now, we have successfully cloned a Maven project as a test template, and we have imported that into Eclipse. We have created 6 test cases, 2 test cases in each class. So let's assume there are 2 Appium test cases here, 2 REST API test cases here, and 2 Selenium test cases here. Totally 6 test cases. Now I want to run all these 6 test cases. So what command should I give for all these 6 test cases to trigger? Okay, but before that you have to make sure that your pom.xml have all the dependencies related to these 3 files. Okay, so right now there is no real code here, but assuming that there is a real code here, your test script will fail, right? Because there are no jars to run your Selenium or your API test cases. Let's go and get those dependencies and paste it here. Okay, so for that we have to go back to mavenrepository.com and type Selenium if you want to work with Selenium test cases and get your jars from there. Okay, for 3.6 version, these are the jars. You see that dependency tag starts and closes it here, right? So carefully copy all this. Yeah, till this line is enough. The first line is for commenting out, okay? So you can paste it here. So these are dependencies parent tags. So in the parent tag, you will place all your child dependencies. This is one dependency. So closing and ending tag. Observe that there is a singular one. So all the child dependencies will have singular word dependency. So all these child dependencies should be part of the parent dependencies tag name. Okay. So that's why this start tag, this tag started here and ended here. And this is the child tag started here and ended here. So right now we have Selenium and we are not going to work on JUnit. We need test-ng dependencies. Let me remove this. Okay, test-ng is the latest and most stable testing framework for Java. So let's use that. Yeah, for the just type search for your relevant jar and you will get all the information. From that, go and select. This is for test-ng. Okay, so we have Selenium, we have test-ng. What else we need? Let's go and bring REST assured jars. So these are basically for API testing. So if you are enrolled in my APM course or REST assured course, you will understand what these dependencies are. So for now, just we are using that in our code just to make sure are they compiling or not. Appium. Alright, so these are dependencies we need to trigger all these 3 test cases. Okay, so now, and we are assuming that there are already test cases inside it. Now how to run these test cases? So basically Maven tells that we have a plugin called Surefire plugin with which you can execute all your tests in your Maven project. So if we come back to your Word document, let's see what all we learned till now. We have learned till here integrating Maven. We have done this pom.xml file dependencies, and we also done this with this point, how to find the dependencies of the softwares. We got that from mavenrepository.com. So before going to this 9th step, we have to understand the importance of Maven Surefire plugin. So basically this plugin is used to execute all your test cases in your Maven project. So you need to dump that plugin into your pom.xml file. So right now by default Maven skeleton, you will not get that Surefire plugin. You need to download, or you need to just copy it from their official website and you need to paste it here. So let's go and get that Maven Surefire plugin for us. Just type Maven Surefire plugin in Google. So you will have their official documentation here. Okay, so here for testing, you can use the document. One second, usage, click on usage. Yeah, so once you click on usage, here is where you have that plugin information. You need to simply copy this plugin and place it in your pom.xml file. That's it. That's all you need to do. And this plugin information is provided in the Maven official website. Okay, this is the link. And when you click on usage, you get your plugin. So if you see that, best practice is to define the Surefire plugin that you want to use in either your pom.xml or a parent pom.xml. So right now we have only one pom.xml, so we need to place that plugin there. Okay, so go back to Chrome and you need to copy it from build. Okay, project, we are already having it there. You see that project, we are already there, so you can write it above the dependencies parent tag. So this plugin, Maven Surefire plugin, will help to execute all your test cases present in your test folder. This is your test folder, right? And this is your main folder. So what all test cases you define under this will be executed if you have the Surefire plugin. And this is one of the most famous interview question as well. Okay, with what plugin you can execute all your test cases in your Maven project? It's with Surefire plugin. Okay, so once you add this plugin, now it's time to run all your test cases. So in the next lecture, let's see with what commands we can trigger all these tests, and let's take it from there. And just one caution here, don't get panic if you are enrolled in REST API course and if you see something like Selenium and Appium. So this section is independent of any tool. So this section is basically explaining how to build a framework, and Maven is one of the major component in building the framework. And now we are learning that this section independently, and this is not restricted to any testing tool. So basically all these are the testing tools which are developed in Java. So when we are developing Java frameworks for these tools, Maven is the component which we frequently use. So that's the reason we are learning in depth about Maven in this section, but this is independent of any other tool. So I'm just putting sample test cases here. That's why, without writing any code, just to make sure that tomorrow when you actually inject your real code into the Selenium block, how to trigger all these and all we are learning in this section. So all our concepts which we learned in this section will be practically implemented in the coming sections by injecting our actual code on which tool we are learning this course. Okay, all right. See you in the next lecture with the execution. Thank you.